Hi guys, I'm Matt from Tubby Tarot. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to share with you one of my favorite dark decks, and it's a pretty dark deck, I can tell you. And I've done a review of this deck. If you want to go back and see it, I might, if I can find it, I'll put a link down below to the actual review. But I want to share this with you again, just quickly. And this tarot deck is called the Z Tarot, or Tarot Z, or Z, as Americans say. In South Africa, we pronounce that Z. Okay. Now, interestingly enough, it works like this. They're like, boop, 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 boop. Okay, pretty cool. The reason I'm doing this little kind of video game, I'm just trying to get it out of here, is because of this whole Ukraine thing. The Russians are putting a big Z on their tanks, and that's like become the kind of swastika of this Russian-Ukrainian thing. And I thought it was quite apt because this is such a horrific deck that I've actually started using it because of this whole war thing. You can see it's a serious, it's a seriously hardcore zombie deck. This is not like the zombie deck or whatever they call that comedic one. Okay, this is like pretty radical stuff. And I just thought this is interesting because it has a lot of death and destruction in it. Okay, a lot of very strange, and really there's the Hermit card. Some very strange and incredibly disturbing images. Even the back of the card is pretty disturbing. Okay, and I found that I've been doing a lot of readings and a lot of prayer work for Ukraine, because I've done a video on this as well, because of what's going on, and it just seems to be going on and on and on and on. So I've been doing a lot of work with my cards, and I chose a dark deck, not because I feel I want that dark energy, but because of the images that kind of keep my mind focused on the fact that this is truly horrendous. What's happening out there is truly horrendous. So I've been using this deck quite a bit, and it's been a very strange time as far as the readings go, because I've never realized that a dark deck can actually give you sometimes really positive readings. You know, I've been doing daily work with this, daily yes no drawing, yes no card drawings. I've been doing a lot of sort of 7 card spreads where I've looked at past, present, future, what is going to happen, what is the main issue here, that sort of thing. A lot of 7 card spreads. I've been using a lot of 10 card spreads, which I don't normally do. Anybody who's following my channel and has been for a while will know that I prefer smaller spreads, 3 card spreads, 5 card spreads. I generally don't do huge, big sort of Celtic cross spreads and that sort of thing. But I have felt that I've been moved to use much bigger spreads with this particular deck. And as I've been working with this deck, this is the weirdest thing. And as I've been kind of started off with the whole Ukraine situation and using the deck and prayer, I've kind of expanded into general readings for like world issues. I don't do that. To me, I feel it's quite an arrogant thing to do, but I've just been moved to do this, and I've been doing it on a very small scale. I'm not going to go into detail about what the readings are and blah blah. I'm just talking about this deck as a dark deck. And the funniest thing about this deck is, oh my god, the funniest thing about this deck is that as I've been using it, and as I've been, I think, putting my own energy into it, I think that's probably what it is, I found it's become less menacing and not as dark a deck as when I first started using it. And that's why I said earlier, I didn't realize that a dark deck, and this is pretty damn dark, I didn't realize that this actually could give really positive readings. I want you to look at this card in particular. This is terrifying and very sad. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong side of the camera. It's a zombie woman with her non-zombie baby. Terrifying, so sad. And this particular card really spoke to me because this is this here sums up Ukraine right now. This card. Um, there is all this death and destruction, and yet there's also kind of hope. You know, there's the two in this card is imbued the two different sides to this Ukrainian issue. When I say two sides, I'm not talking Russian and Ukrainian. I'm talking the death and destruction, and then the kind of rebirth that will happen. Whether Russia wins or whether Ukraine wins, it will happen. Either way, there's going to have to be some kind of end and then the new beginning. So it's been, I just wanted to share that with you. I just wanted to share the fact that this deck has become less and less scary and dark as I've been using it. I don't know if you guys have found that with your dark decks. The more you use it, the more you kind of imbue your own energy and imbue your own the questions I think that you're asking are slightly more positive, or in have a more sort of what is the word I'm looking for? A more positive outlook, a more sort of like happy reading. I don't know if that kind of changes what is essentially a very dark deck into something a lot lighter and a lot easier to use. Because when I started using this deck, I was like, wow, this is really, really difficult. I'm not hugely, I mean, I love dark decks, but I'm not used to using one that is so incredibly dark, so incredibly scary. I mean, this is like horror movie stuff, you know. And I'm not really used to. The only reason I bought this deck was because of the pictures, and actually because of the box, because the box has got that little slidey thing with all the things. And I mean, I was like, oh my god, I have to have that. But now that I'm using it, it's just been so interesting. And as I said just now, I started using this because of this whole war situation, and my use now has kind of expanded to include kind of worldviews, my own views on the world, my own views on relationships. You see how it's kind of coming down, down, down. And suddenly I've grown to really love this deck, and I want to work with this deck a lot more now that I've got it out. I've taken it off my shelf. And I really, really want to work with this deck a lot more. So do you guys have the same, or have you experienced the same sort of situation where you've had a very bleak, very menacing deck in your collection that you've started working with? I'm speaking specifically to sort of people who are very deeply into the goth culture, who would be hugely attracted to this, people who are perhaps into witchcraft, that sort of thing, where this would really attract you, the darker side of things. Have you found that as you work with your darker decks, they actually become less menacing, and you become more attuned with them, and they become more attuned with you? Let me know down below. I'd be really, really interested to hear from you. I'm Matt from Tubby Tarot, and I will see you on the flip side. Hi, thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to go and like and subscribe, and check out some more of my videos in my playlists.